our Kali Linux up in order to connect our wireless adapter, and also we learned how to put that into monitor mode so that we can gather information about the wireless networks that we are not connected to. And we're going to use all of this information to crack the password of those networks in the next section, but within the section we're going to focus on gathering information as much as we can. And we're going to use airmon ng and aerodump ng in order to achieve this result. So of course we're going to start by putting our interface into monitor mode as usual, but then later on we're going to see how to gather information about the network around us. And this aerodump ng is also built in the Kali Linux as well, so it will be very easy for us to use this and gather information that we need. So let's start and see what we can do with this. And remember that you have to have your wireless adapter to be connected to your Kali Linux. So if you run ifconfig, you can see the WLAN over here. And as you can see, it doesn't have any IP address assigned to it. And I'm getting the internet connection from the ETX0, which is in the bridged adapter right now. Even if you're in the net network, it doesn't matter. But as you can see, I can connect to the internet. So I changed my name, my home router's name to the Academy Club. Okay, this is my actually company router. And I'm going to show you how to change your names as well, your SSID, the name of your network, if you need to later on. But you can try this with your own router or own home network or any network that you're actually authorized to gather information or crack the password. So far, so good. Now, what we're going to do, our target network is Academy Club in this case, and we're going to just gather information about the Academy Club and also the other networks in the range as well. Unfortunately, I cannot, at this point, isolate the Academy Club SSID, so we're going to see every possible information about the networks that I'm into right now, but this can be considered as a public information as well, because we are not going to attack or just crack the password of every possible network that we see in the range. So let me just start the monitor mode by running airmon ng start WLAN-O, and if I run ifconfig right now, as you can see, I'm in the monitor mode, and as I said before, it doesn't have to be WLAN-O-mon, but if it is, then you should use that interface name. So make sure you use your own interface name. In my case, it's WLAN-O-mon, and I'm in the monitor mode right now. So I'm going to run this aerodump ng by specifying the interface name. As you can see, the usage or the description of the aerodump ng comes when I write aerodump ng and start, I just hit enter. And it's very easy to use. You don't have to use any parameters if you don't want. All you gotta do is just write aerodump ng WLAN-O-mon. Okay? And it will just bring every possible information for the networks that is in your range. So here you go. Once I do that, as you can see, I start gathering information about all the networks that is in my range. And range depends on the quality of your wireless adapter, and it will be very sufficient for you to have a regular working wireless adapter in many cases. As you can see, I'm getting a lot of information over here. I'm going to explain everything related with this columns, like the SSID and the PWR and all this stuff. Don't worry about it. All you gotta do is just wait until you have enough information on your screen, at least until you see your target on the screen, and hit Ctrl+C after that in order to make it stop. So I hit Ctrl+C, and as you can see right now, I'm in the terminal and I have the information about what I need. So this BSSID stands for the MAC address of the router, the MAC address of the network. So in my case, the Academy Club has this BSSID, has this MAC address for the router, and we will need this a lot. Okay, so I have this MAC address, which is very good because we're going to use this once we try to attack to this network. So I will try to attack to this Academy Club, and as you can see, it's shown under the ESSID. So this is SSID, the name of the name of the router, and power stands for the proximity to the target range. So in this case, the larger it is, the closer that you are to the target. So the Academy Club is actually at one of the top. As you can see, it's -58, okay? And in many cases, you can find yourself in a position that you don't even know the name of the network, okay, if you're just doing a real penetration test. So maybe you can use this parameter, the power parameter, to see the networks that are in your range and actually that is very proximate to you, so that you can deduce some kind of information that, yeah, I want to attack this network. But in our case, it's very actually obvious. I'm going to attack the Academy Club. And as you can see, there are some other parameters over here, other columns over here that is showing info like beacons and number of data. So these are the transformations or the announcements of packets that our router is sending right now, and we're going to see how to leverage this information later on. Channel is important. So we have several channels in our routers, and we specifically use one channel. So this is managed automatically by your router or your internet provider in many cases. So for example, if you call your internet provider and if you say that, yeah, my internet connection seems to be slower than what it used to be, then they may change this channel in order to make sure that you're using a non-crowded channel in order to gain a much faster connection in many cases. So this channel is important, and we're going to need that once we try to launch some attacks against this network as well. So this is one of the key information that we're going to be using. And for the encryption, this ENC, it stands for the encryption, and as you can see, it uses something called WPA2. So this is one of the algorithms that we're going to see how to break it, okay? And in many cases, you're going to go against the WPA2, and we're going to see how to overcome this encryption and how to break this password if we need to as well. And finally, the ESSID is the name of the network that we're going to be targeting. So this is good, but this is not enough, okay? So we need much more information once we try to attack this network. For example, if I want to attack the Academy Club, maybe I want to break its password, maybe I want to launch a denial of service attack against the Academy Club to make sure some kind of phone or some kind of computer doesn't actually connect to the internet. So it may be the issue, or it may be the case for me. So I need to know what kind of devices or how many devices or the MAC addresses of the devices that are connected to the Academy Club or my target ID or my target router at that point. So what we're going to do after this lecture is to understand how we can build a case where we actually focus on this Academy Club. So we isolate this, Okay, so we isolate the target network. Of course, this will be different for you. You will be actually attacking your own router. So I'm attacking my own router. This is my router. Okay, so we will actually run this aerodump ng against this network, and we're going to be specifically focusing on one network only, and we're going to gather much more information about it. But in order to do that, we should do this step so that we can get the BSSID, the MAC address of that specific router. So in any case, you should run this aerodump ng and save this, or maybe you can open a new tab for your terminal, or maybe you can just copy and paste everything into a TXT. Doesn't matter. But don't lose this information, because we will